So good afternoon. I thought I'm going to check in here today. I'm at the Sam's Club parking lot. I had to get some groceries. And in the last week or two, we had at night some temperatures going down to going down to 15 degrees Fahrenheit, which is I think somewhere around minus 10 degrees Celsius. And three things started to happen. The rubber-related part to the fuel or to the intake system, they're starting to crack now. These are the ones I put in 4 years ago. The boot underneath the fuel metering unit, I probably have to replace that. The two air hoses for the injection nozzles, where they go for the idle speed, they're fairly okay. But the two hoses connecting them and the hoses connecting the idle speed control valve to the system, they are starting to go bad too after just 4 years and 21,000 miles. Now I have to say, the cars in Kansas, we have very hot temperatures around 105, 110 degrees Fahrenheit in the summer, which is 40, 41 degrees Celsius, and temperatures as low as 0 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about minus 20, minus 25 degrees Celsius. And the vehicle is parked all year round outside. So that has added to it. And then if you are a viewer of my channel, then you know last year I had some alternator issues, which I resolved. And I got 3 belts. The belt I'm currently having in here since last year was the emergency belt from AutoZone, which is not 100% fit. And that one is coming apart now, primarily because it was the cheapest one they had for like $7.95. And it wasn't exactly the right fit, but very close to it. And that one is coming apart on the top. The belt itself is still fine, that's why I'm driving it, but I will have to replace this in the next couple of days before that belt completely breaks. And I have developed an additional exhaust leak somewhere on the exhaust sides from the engine block, basically, or from the head out downwards, and I have to further investigate this. The exhaust system is something I haven't done with at all, and we can see this. You can see the engine runs fairly okay even with the vacuum leak. But what I wanted to show you is, as soon as I get into gear, never mind my cigarettes, you can see the economy gauge indicates this, that we're having a leak. Otherwise everything is pretty much working here. You see, it doesn't really have an issue or effect on the idle speed. When you go out of gear on these cars and the car's warm, there will be a momentary enrichment in the higher idle at about 1,000 to 1,100, and then it drops off within like 30 seconds. That is normal. But here you cannot see anything here with the economy gauge when the car's in neutral, but as soon as you go into gear, you can see this. And normally in this position, we should not see any economy gauge activity if the car is in D or in any of the gears, basically, at those temperatures and at this idle. So this is how we know that we have a vacuum leak in there. And then the other thing is, I don't know if you have been shopping here in Americas. What I saw today, which really surprised me, is the Sam's Club offers now steaks, filet mignon, New York strip, according to halal methods. If you're familiar with it, then you know what that means. If you're not, then I wouldn't worry about it. But this is where that is at. What I also found shopping at most supermarkets, Sam's Club is one of them I use, is besides of that, the prices have increased by over 75% over the last 2 or 3 years on these items I normally buy, is that the quality has decreased and a lot of things are no longer in the assortment. They have also changed a lot of the stuff here at Sam's Club to automated things, so you have the unattended checkout lanes and less cash use. And they got these robots now running around here at the aisle, evaluating everything while they're sweeping up the floor. So this is just an observation. I don't know if this is just me. Leave a comment if you know what I'm talking about, and if you have had similar experiences. It would be interesting to see. An update on Clay. We're working on this, but he has been busy with his basketball stuff. So we will tune in with him here as his time permits, and we were gonna keep working on his front end and his rear end stuff to get that basically sorted out and squared away. And I have my work here cut out, looking at the exhaust, the alternator belt, and then putting new rubber parts in here. Okay. Oh, the reason with the rubber parts is what I learned in this is the rubber today is different from the rubber they used 30-40 years ago, and the durability is not as long, especially if the vehicle is exposed to the elements, meaning it's not parked in the garage. I don't have enough room at my house. I have to buy a new house to get an additional parking stall for my car if I wanted to park it. So the rubber has been changed, the composition, the chemicals, the additives to it when they're making this stuff because of environmental restrictions compared to 40 years ago, and they're just not as durable anymore. That should explain it. Not because Mercedes-Benz is trying to pull a fast one on you, but it is just the reality of our change standards we have today in our world in trying to protect the environment and all of that stuff. That means you can anticipate to change these parts out by far more frequently than what we used to have, or what we were used to when these cars were new. With this, have a great evening and a great afternoon, and we will be talking to you pretty soon.